This is episode 271 of Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Derek Morton. Derek is the founder and owner-broker of Netgain Property Management Services. He started it in 2016 to focus on striking the balance between owners' wants and tenants' needs. He's been around real estate for more than 14 years. Derek, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk landlord tenant because I think it's something that a lot of people are missing. And I know that's one of your specialties. How do you feel that so many people became landlords without understanding what being a landlord really was going to take?
I think we all sinned out of ignorance.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all I jumped in because I was in the title industry for years and I just kind of felt like I plateaued. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've survived 2006, 7, 8 in the title industry. And I don't
Fun times.
I'm like, I don't think I can survive it a second time. So, I was like, yeah, let's see what we can do. So I settled in property management. But like I said, there's so many things, like you hear the stories, right? And you're like, oh yeah, but you're also like, oh, I can make a good amount of money and I can, be able to provide for my family. But we all sin in ignorance because we just don't fully understand until you experience it. Like we joke around in our office all the time. We're like, I can go home and tell my wife or, our board friends and stuff like that. And what we did, and they just kind of look at us. They're like, what's the big deal? And you're like, you're missing necessary context.
Yeah.
Once you're in the industry, you're like, you'll say this and you're like, oh man, yeah, right. You just swap war stories, but just like,
yeah. I just feel like a lot of, people have the money, of course, to get in and invest. And they feel like they've watched a couple, TikTok videos and they say, oh, it's cool. I'll just get a rental property, hire property management. And, that'll be it. I'll just cruise off into the sunset on my 120, gain a month. But I don't think they take into account what it really takes to nurture a relationship and that you can't really be an absent landlord if you want to do this correctly and grow a business.
My wife, when I was discussing starting property management with her, she was really hesitant. And we were in the process of building a home because this is smart. We're going to build a new home, and start a business at the same, shortly thereafter, higher payments, all this stuff, because that's, the smart thing to do. And, she was like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, we're going to keep the townhome as a rental and you're going to handle it all. All the, and she'd ask, what do I do here? Google it. And so I'm shocked our marriage survived it because I was just like, you figure it out. And by the time we were done, she was and found a tenant. She was just like, okay, I get it. I understand why people would pay you for that.
I've definitely seen some oil and water situations in my time. And yeah, as you said, there's fair housing requirements. So you need to present it and somebody's fully qualified. There's, you try to, if you don't have a bunch of rental applications sitting there, got to present it. And a lot of landlords are just focused on, hey, are they fully qualified? They don't understand that it's actually a relationship, or is someone going to be annoying and call about every speck of dust that's out there, or think that you're going to change the light bulbs for them.
And part of that is trying to, and this is where I always struggle. And I've gotten better, and we're actually I'm redoing my owner onboarding process and stuff so that we can better set expectations on both sides.
Yeah.
So you have the tenant. So, here's what the lease says. Cause let's be honest, most tenants don't read the lease.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or if they do, they don't understand.
They either read every single word and ask a question about every word or none. I don't think there's any in between.
No. And so you work with those issues and trying to find that balance. And so it's really interesting. But once you set those expectations, and we do that, so we have a welcome letter. Here's what we expect. Here's this. And then a move out letter. And as long as they read that, that's pretty good. And we can deal with 10,000 questions, on the front end. It's when they don't read it and stuff's moved out that it's like, well, and we're like, did you read your move out letter? Well, no. Then why are we having this conversation? You failed. You're one. We gave you one job,
right?
To can you read it now? And please tell me if there's something that we missed.
Is there a number of units that you want for your company? Like, is a person who just has one single family, is that a good client for you? Because that's where I always find it's hard to figure out. Like, I think it's hard for one-offs to get the best property manager in town because it's not a great scale for them.
So this is an internal debate that I'm having right now. I mean, we'll take a one-off. Like, so if you have one unit, like we'll take you.
Yeah.
And part of the debate I'm having is with everything that I'm doing, like I think here within the next year, I'm going to say, you have to have 4 or above. The hard part, and I'd probably do that now, and this is going to sound egotistical and I'll own it. But I haven't found a property manager that I trust enough to be like, okay, I know you will take care of these people.
The ones, twos, and threes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because because you never know when those ones, twos, and threes become 10 or 12.
Yeah. Right.
And we've had plenty that started with one and we did our job very well. And they're like, oh, okay, this was easy. And then they buy the second one and that's when all hell breaks loose. And they're interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be able to help them build. And that's part of like what's confident for me is right. So the accidental landlord that their parents died, but I don't want to sell it or the market's good enough to sell it. So let's do this. And so that's an internal debate, like having it, within myself that logically making that shift to, hey, we're going to do 4 and above, like makes sense for my business and the way I'm trying to scale and grow.
Yeah.
But philosophically, like, and sometimes those 4 or more are easier because there's a lot less emotional involved.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it would take less time and energy from my staff, to go that way, and they're supportive. But there's just something about like that first time investor, the excitement, which is also like the emotions come involved.
Where do you think generally landlords, the ones that you've worked with in your experience over the years, where are they going wrong the most, even when they have property management? Where's the biggest landlord failures that you see?
I think there's probably 3 things. One, they're under the assumption that it's going to be easy money.
Yeah, I completely agree with it.
2, don't realize, and some of this depends on the market you're in. Like, so some people, if they're in high-end rentals and all this stuff, like this doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But for the vast majority of them, like, I don't think people fully realize that being a landlord and in property management, you're on the front lines of everything that's going on in society.
Yeah.
So addiction, domestic violence, mental health, poverty,
Yeah,
and-
joblessness, it can all come up all at once and it is going to be your problem. Yeah, good point.
yeah, like, and so they're like, oh, you tell them like, hey, the tenant lost a job. Here's what this is. And, they're like, well, what do we do? Well, let's see if they can figure out how they're going to make their payment. And sometimes we may have to have a conversation to be like, what's the best exit strategy? You guys have been a great tenant. Let's find resources to help you be able to pay rent, to at least get you in and buy you some time. But if not, like, what's the best exit strategy so that you're not on the streets, that the owner still can be, taken care of? Like, what does that strategy look like? And so owners, like when we have those conversations, and this is one of the separators, like, when we're looking at owners, like, hey, like, this is what's going on. And the owner's like, okay, like, here's what I'm willing to do, instead of like all of a sudden panic. Like, I wasn't expecting to lose a job. Well, neither were they. This is
No one wants to lose a job. Yeah.
Like, like this is, I'm just going to say the bigger impact is on them, not you.
Yeah.
And as long as they know that, like, we can find good solutions. But also, like, were they going to be able to pay rent? We're working. Like, this is why we're having these conversations, right? So understanding that you're on that front end of things that are going on in society, and that life can change on a dime quickly. Like, one of the coolest experiences I've had is, I remember we had an owner, the tenant, his wife died, and she had been clean for years. and the son was not clean, and I don't know the full story, but she unknowingly took a fatal dose of fentanyl.